Hey everyone, this is Luminous coming you guys with a Pro Dota 2 commentary, and today I'm going to cast a game in the winners bracket quarters final between OK.Nirvana.int versus IG. Now before we get into the game, I'm going to give a little bit of background history for both teams. OK.Nirvana on day one just surprised the entire Dota world when they got placed into a group with two Chinese teams, yet coming out of the group 3-0, beating every single team in their group, sending Nirvana China into the losers bracket and actually taking a game from Tyloo, which can be considered as one of the favorites into the winning of the tournament. So very well done by OK.Nirvana. The recent acquiring of PatchCat was just such a good move, man. PatchCat played exceptionally well in day one, and I think he's gonna keep playing well in day two as well. So OK.Nirvana looking extremely strong walking into this game. And normally I would just say, hey, you know what? I'm a Chinese fanboy. I think Chinese teams are just very strong. Normally I just give the default higher chance of victory to the Chinese team, but I don't know. I've seen the performance of OK.Nirvana in day one. I don't know how to call this. This should be a very even game. Meanwhile, on this Radiant or on the Scourge or the Dire side, IG, formerly known as CCM, one of the best Chinese teams, got bought out for $6 million. That's how good they are. People want to spend $6 million on IG, so they are pretty good. Unfortunately, they lost a game to eHome. eHome out of nowhere finished 3-0 in their group. So IG is coming into the winner bracket second stage with only a 2-1 advantage, and I say only 2-1 because they're expected to go 3-0. The fact that they did not go 3-0 is also a little bit eyebrow raising. So this should be a very good game. One of the best European teams apparently coming out of nowhere. OK versus one of the best Chinese team in the Chinese scene. So this should be a very exciting game. Let's look into the pick and bans here. We do see Spectres, Anti-Mage, Slaughter, and a Night Stalker being banned. And if you are going WTF with this bans, we are only playing with 46 heroes right now. So this is not like the standard Dota 1 pick and ban that you're used to. These picks and bans are really just, kind of differing from game to game. Basically, teams like, I don't want to play Anti-Mage, I don't want to play Slaughter, so we just ban those heroes. So I think that's mostly it, but I can make some logics as we see this pick and ban stage come along. We do see Lich being opening up by OK.Nirvana, and that's a very strong opening in terms of Lich giving you a huge versatility in terms of laning. He could solo mid, he could babysit in the long lane, he could solo in the long lane, he could be in a tri lane. As you see, Lich with this Dark Ritual, with this heavy nuking damage, he could be in every single lane possible, well, aside from jungle. But yeah, he could just do everything very well, and that's a very strong opening support pick from OK.Nirvana. Meanwhile, I do love IG's Beastmaster opening so very much. As you know, Weaver is one of the best heroes in the pool right now, or especially in this tournament. Weaver's getting picked so much. And you might be thinking, why am I talking about the Weaver as I talk about the Beastmaster? If you look at the Beastmaster and also some of the stuff that they have in common compared to the heroes that are in the banned mode right now, AM lanes very well against the Weaver. Slaughter can be as a pseudo counter against the Weaver with his amplified damage, and also Night Stalker, very strong counter to the Weaver because of his sphere. Beastmaster also in a sense is a counter. Of course, the Roar is just a long range stun, but not just that. As we see IG picking up the Weaver right now, not just the Roar. Beastmaster, if he's up against a Weaver, he will just get boots, bottle, and gem. And not only will the Beastmaster take down every single ward on the enemy side, that gem's going to be extremely crucial in terms of keeping the Weaver in check, putting him in fear, and always be able to gank him. So with IG opening up the pick with the Beastmaster, that's just sending a message to OK.Nirvana, and they're saying, you know what? You can pick up the Weaver if you want, but we're going to take down your wards and we're going to gank you with our Beastmaster. And in that sense, they not only has limited their enemy team in terms of picking the Weaver, they have also secured the Weaver pick for themselves. So this is kind of like a 1-2 move, at least how I am seeing it. So I think that's very smart picking and banning from IG side. Meanwhile, looking on the OK.Nirvana side, they are kind of just, you know what? we are going to go for AoE team fight. Judging from the first 3 picks, having the Lich and the Puck just give them so much AoE team fight potential. As you know, Dream Coil keeps everyone in a very nearby vicinity. They can't really move that far away from each other. And without the ability to disperse, the Chain Frost is going to bounce between all of the heroes, and it's going to do so much damage. Of course, the Venge is kind of just a vanilla pick, which is not bad because Venge does give them a lot of range to work with. The Tira is very good for team fight, Roshan fights as well. The swap is going to be crucial in terms of picking off the Weaver. Weaver is a pretty good survivor, but not if you get swapped in the Hex immediately. Let's say if the Puck picks up a Hex in the very late stage of the game. But that's pretty far from it right now, so let's leave it at that. Very smart ban from IG here, saying that, you know what, Sentinel, or Radiant in this case, already has Lich and Puck. We don't want to give them even more teamfight potential. So banning the TIE Hunter is a very, very smart ban as well. And they're not going to pick up a TIE Hunter themselves because they already have Shaker, which is kind of sort of like an AoE specialist as well. And they also have another melee hero, which is a Beastmaster. You don't want to pick up too many melee heroes because it will just make laning very, very awkward. It makes your teamfight awkward as well because you're going to be clumping a lot. So this is a very, very smart ban from the IG. Meanwhile, on the Sentinel here, we're going to ban Pugna, which is a strong teamfight hero on its own right. But I think they're really afraid of that ward, because if the Pugna drops down the ward before a team fight happens, no matter what, your Lich is going to take some damage in terms of nuking. Your Puck's going to take a lot of damage from nuking as well. So that's a pretty good ban from OK as well. Although I think they could have picked up they could have picked up Pugna themselves, but again, that would make lanes a little bit weird. They will have to be forced to have a Pugna solo, and then a Puck solo, and then a trialing of the Venge Lich. Now, generally, that's a pretty good lane, like the Venge Lich plus another solo, plus another carry, excuse me. That's a very strong killing trialing as well. But seeing that you're up against a Beastmaster solo mid, you could always take advantage of it. And the reason I say this is because many teams in the past, if you know the enemy team is going to be putting a solo mid, that means you have a lot more rooms in terms of picking up one of your solo, you have a lot more room in terms of putting another solo hero in the mid lane. For example, back a month ago, we saw a lot of Doom solo mid. So a very good counter, a very good way to take advantage of Doom solo mid was putting Anti-Mage solo mid, was putting Omni Knight solo mid. So the same thing applies here. You know that the Beastmaster is going to be going solo mid. So as an OK.Nirvana, you have extra options. You can put a melee hero mid. You can put even the Clock mid and take advantage of the Beastmaster and then outlane him that way. Or you could do your standard, like a range mid like Pugna mid or whatever. It just gives OK.Nirvana a little bit more option to work with, and that's always a good thing. Meanwhile, the fourth ban on the Scourge team is Batman, or the Doombringer in this case. So, that's just a good, standard ban. Although I'm not too sure whether Sentinel was going to pick up a Doom anyways. Doom is an okay team fight hero. He tanks a lot of damage when he turns on the Scourge Earth and basically disables one of your heroes for 12 seconds. It's definitely a very strong team fight hero, but I'm not too sure whether OK.Nirvana was looking for that, because I think they're going for a little bit more AoE. As you see, Clock as a fourth pick, a lot of AoE. Give them the huge sight, the huge initiation power, a dual pick. Not only does it team fight very well, it also does very, very well against the Weaver, because of that long range initiation. Sentinel looking very dangerous with the reach. They have the Clock Hook Shot, they have the Rocket for sight, they have a Blink Coil, a Blink Waning Rift. So that's just looking very strong. Of course, the swap is talked about as well. And now we see IG picking up Line as a fourth pick, which is an okay pick against these low HP squishy heroes on Sentinel. But I'm kind of worried about Scourge's lack of AoE presence. Of course, they have the Axes, they have Swarm. But in terms of stun and disables, the only thing they really got is that Fissure and that pseudo AoE-ness of the Impale. You can't really count on the Impale as a for sure AoE thing, because most of the time you're going to be targeting a single hero as well. So for Scourge right now, they have okay AoE. But if you compare the Scourge AoE to the Sentinel AoE, you can see that Sentinel just have way, way more. So I'm just a little bit afraid of IG in terms of their team fight potential. So let's see what they're thinking, because IG definitely know what they're doing. Zoe's doing the pick. He's a very experienced captain. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt right now. Meanwhile, OK.Nirvana still needs a very hardcore carry. Generally, you want to pick up a hardcore carry if you're not going for all-out gank, and if you're not going for an all-out push. And so far, judging from the first 4 pick, they're not doing that. So they do pick up the Void, which, let me think about this. It's a pretty good carry, semi-carry, I suppose. A lot of teams and a lot of players consider him as a very hardcore carry. A lot of pubs consider him as a hardcore carry, but I personally don't think so. If you're looking for real hardcore carry, late game carry, you're looking at the Spectre, you're looking at Weaver. I don't think Void is a late game carry. I think most of his power comes in the fact that you could just do so much damage with your within your Chronosphere and go absolutely crazy. But in this case, the Chronosphere and the Chain Frost, it really combines very well, and they synergize very well, but not so much from the clock. So the clock and the Chronosphere is going to have a little bit of awkward interaction. You could look at it that way, or you could look at it the flip side of the coin and say, hey, OK.Nirvana's got multiple avenues of initiation. They could either go with the clock, or they could go with the Void, or they could go with the puck. If you want to look at it that way, like, you know, the glass is half full, then it's looking pretty good for Nirvana, because they can initiate with the Chronosphere, they can initiate with the clock hookshot, and they can initiate with the puck Dream Coil, and all of it sets up very, very well into the Lich Chain Frost. So that's kind of OK.Nirvana's plan. They want to win mid game with big AoE team fights. Meanwhile, Scourge, they pick up a Necrolite. I'm not. Oh, okay. I don't know what the hell IG was picking here, but the cool combo with the line and the Necrolite is you have a very strong single target killing potential. Of course, a Finger of Death is gonna do a huge amount of damage, and then the Reaper Scythe is gonna finish. That is the plan. And the plan is going to use that against Void, which is a pretty squishy hero, but you got to consider that Void does have backtrack. So that's one thing they do have to worry about. But this is Zoe. Zoe is playing Necrolite. Zoe is one of the better Necrolite players I've seen. The thing with Necrolite as a hero is I either see Necrolite just go mega beastly tank, pick up Pipe, Mecha, Hex, Shivas, and just basically become unkillable. Or I see Necrolites that just get like a 30-minute mecha and be completely ineffective. I never see in between. Now, considering that this is Zoe, one of the best farmers in the world, I'm hoping that he's going to go for the first one, but you can never really tell. We do see Lion on the top lane here. Beastmaster, by the way, has 1 salve and 3 tangos, so saving up a lot of go for that fast bottle. Shaker is being played by Shansheng, and I think Xiao 8 is on the Weaver, and they're going to be dual laning on the bot. So dual laning coming out from IG, this is quite unprecedented because so far I think a lot of, well, it's been shifting right now back to dual lane, but a lot of times we still see trialing as the prevailing kind of way to lane. But dual lane is definitely gaining a little bit more popularity. We do see 1437 on the Vengeful Spirit. Patchcat, one of the most outbreak player in this tournament, playing so well. Is going to be on the Void on the carry. I think Fear is playing on the puck I saw, and then we'll see what are the other heroes. What are the other players playing in terms of the heroes? In terms of the laning here, we do see yellow and teal, which is the Void and the Vengeful Spirit going to the mid lane, so they're going to dual lane mid, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Once you know the Beastmaster is going to go in the mid lane, you can just send your Void to go into the mid lane and just take advantage of laning, and with the Vengeful Spirit coming in to harass, coming in to help out here, that Void is going to have absolutely free farm. Yes, the Beastmaster can just use his wild access to do a little bit of harass and push the wave a little bit, but that's not going to help him to prevent the Void from farming, and that's definitely not going to help him in terms of getting any kills. So I think that's very smart laning from OK.Nirvana. And seeing this, we see Shaker being immediately journeying to the mid lane, and so is Line, knowing that the Weaver is going to have a fairly easy time against the puck by himself. I think we have a dueling of a Lich and Clock at the top lane. So this is pretty good transition from IG though. I like what they're doing. They're like, you know what? Our Weaver doesn't need help at the bot lane. Puck definitely will get outlaned by a Weaver. And they don't need a Shaker there to have the extra assurance. They definitely need the Shaker top, because Lich plus Clockwork can kill the Necrolite very easily, especially if these guys hit level 2 or level 3 and get access into the Nova Slow and the Clockwork Battery Assault. They could just walk up Nova, and then here comes the Battery Assault, and then just chase down the Necrolite. No matter if it heals or not, you're gonna have a second Nova to come in as well, and that Rocket Barrage doing so much, or Rocket Flare doing so much damage to claim the kill. So the Shaker should go to top lane as soon as possible. He's actually spending a little bit of time in the mid lane, maybe trying to do a little bit of harass, maybe trying to do a little bit of kill, but he's not going to do either, and I think he should better spend his time going to the top lane. Also, the Demon Witch, the line is at the mid lane right now. I do like the transition as we see the Beastmaster picking up the quick bottle here. I do like what they're doing right now. Generally, you say, you know what, Beastmaster needs to level, and so does Lion. They also need to level. Why do you want to dual lane these heroes who already need so much level? And I think it's gonna work out fine because the Beastmaster is gonna spend quite a bit of time looking for runes as well. He's gonna go off lane and grab the runes, and that is gonna give Lion a little bit of time in terms of grabbing the EXP in lane. Let's do a quick farm check as we see the Chinese observer pulling up. That I saw 9 and 10, 9 on the Void and 10 on the Clockwork, which by the way, this is not controlled by myself, nor is it controlled by the AI bot or whatever. You can see the mouse moving. This is off the Chinese stream. And hopefully they will have a pretty good, I guess, map awareness compared to the AI. We see Clock going in, and that Shaker barely getting there in time to get off a good block and force the Clockwork back. If the Shaker wasn't there, I think the Necrolite might have gone down, or forced them to go very, very far back and use the salve and a couple of tangos. So very good move by the IG, transitioning at their support players all in the correct lane. Of course, OK.Nirvana definitely got the advantage as we see the IG supports running around the map. They definitely got the momentary advantage of having a stronger lane, but none of it transitioned into first blood or anything like that. This game was recommended by a couple of people, and the other reason I want to commentate this game is that I've been told that this game has a very kind of a farming intensive phase, which normally is not good, I suppose, because it gets a little bit boring. But the farming intensive phase is going to give me some time to talk about my thoughts on Dota 2, my thoughts on the Gamescom tournament so far. Of course, I do talk about some of it in the Dota Weekly Show, but I think this is more of a hands-on thing. You could talk about the game as we see the game being played, right? So I don't think he's farming too well. I don't know exactly what his CS right now, but I wouldn't guess this too high. Meanwhile, looking at the Weaver, I think he has picked up a Ring of Basilius and also a Ring of Regen. Early Ring of Regen like this will suggest that he's gonna go into a Hood, which, let's look at what he's up against right now. He's up against a Chain Frost, some nukes from the Pucks, and a couple of magic missiles, and of course the Clock Rocket and whatever. That's pretty good because that's a lot of magical damage. Although I'm pretty afraid for him because he's up against a Chronosphere, which stuns for either 3, 4, 5 seconds, and in that time he could just die if he doesn't get enough HP. He's not gonna be able to strong enough to tank tank long enough to use his time lapse. So I think he should also get into maybe a Vit Booster or maybe even a Vanguard, but we'll see as this game progresses on. We do see Invisible Venge coming around, and she does have a Sentry Ward on him, but I don't think they will get the kill against the Weaver. I don't think Puck has hit level 6 yet. Unless the Puck hits a Waning Rift and prevents the Weaver to Sakuchi away, I don't think they're going to get the kill. It depends how low the HP the Weaver is. He's fairly low. I think he's got like 400, maybe 500. Here we go. Magic Missile is going to be casted. Sentry Ward dropped as well, and here comes Illusion Warrior, but no Waning Rift. So that Weaver's going to just go back and just pop a salve, and like it's nothing even happened. So I don't think this will be the killing lane. Puck is a very strong survivor, and so is the Weaver. So I don't think either any of the heroes going to die unless they make a very, very bad move. The Weaver is at only 250 HP. He's using his wand charges right now, and he doesn't have too much regen. The Ring of Regen is okay, but he's not going to have enough. So he's actually in a quite precarious position. Shaker is not having enough mana for the Fisher. He just got it right now. A lot more harass going on Zoe. You can see it, just a Nova and a Rocket Flare against Zoe. He's at half HP. He has to turn back and pop a salve. And now imagine if the Shaker wasn't here, right? The Necrolite would have just maybe even killed once or twice, or he just had to tower hug and get no farm at all. So again, just sending the Shaker at top might seem like a very, very small play, but that definitely had some impact in the game so far. Meanwhile, we see a lot more Rune Horn going on the Scourge team, and that's kind of what you expect having the Beastmaster, and Beastmaster is going to pick up the regen. That's going to give him a lot more spamming power. Meanwhile, on the bot lane here, a lot more harass going on. There's a Swarm being casted, and Illusion Orb, both heroes just being so ninja with each other, just juking in and out, but not going to be able to kill any one of them. Again, both heroes pretty good at surviving, and that Pug getting into tower. The Pug actually have gone for Magic Bottle, which... that's a very interesting item. I don't think Magic Bottle is that good of a regen item, especially if you're not grabbing the runes. I think the Scourge right now is having the rune control. Of course, they have two heroes in the mid lane, Lion and Beastmaster. They have the Hawk, so they should be grabbing every single rune. I think Puck just felt like he needed some very immediate regen and just bought the bottle. But now that his bottle juice is empty, he either has to miniski this thing up, or just send himself more salve or something, because that bottle's not going to give him enough regen. So let's check out the stats. We have 23 creep kills, 34 on the Void, and 23 on the Clock, 23 on the Puck as well, 27 on the Beastmaster, and 33 on Xiao 8, the Weaver. Zoe, more importantly, only has 11, and that's going to be somewhat big trouble for him, because 11 creep kill on the Necrolite is not going to be enough. Meanwhile, on the bot lane here, we see a little bit of engagement, though. I think I just saw Weaver using his ult, and he's actually chasing under the tower. A Chinese observer, what are you doing? Look at the bot lane. Yes, the bot lane, they are looking right now. It looks like the Weaver is going to get a kill on the Puck, picking up first blood. A solo kill against the Puck by the Weaver. Very, very well done by Xiao 8 here, and that's going to help him go into his very, very early hood. Most likely going to pick up the Ring of Health right now, and then going to finish the hood rather quickly. And having the hood finish is going to make himself cement at that bot lane. It's going to take a lot of ganks in terms of basically either killing the Weaver or just scare him back. Because with the hood, he's going to have enough regen to tank whatever passive harass that he's getting. He's going to have enough regen and just magic resistant to tank long enough to time lapse and survive with Sakuchi. So very, very strong opening from Xiao 8 right now. Meanwhile, we have Lich coming around. He's only level 5, and I think Clock is only level 5 as well. Patchat, by the way, has been free farming. He's literally free farming in the mid lane. Puck is coming around right now, but they are scouted by a very well placed observer ward, so I don't think they could do too much. DDC might be baiting ahead a little bit. I think they do have Beastmaster's not even in a nearby position, so DDC might just go down. I think Dream Coil is up right now. Yeah, DDC definitely see everyone with the ward, and look, I think Fair. Yeah, Fair just turned level 7. He definitely have the Dream Coil. It looks like we have a Hex, excuse me, the Void time lapsing in there, trying to get killed on DDC, but that's not a good choice as we Chronosphere being casted on the Beastmaster just to get that kill. And that was 2 ultimates. Yes, 2 ultimates being used upon a single here. And normally I wouldn't say too much about it, because generally in a very early stage of the game, you can just use ultimate to grab early kills to set yourself a very good early pace of the game. But I think Dream Coil and Chronosphere are both big AoE teamfight ultimates that you could use for pushing out down a tower, or pushing them down a tower and then killing them, or pushing into a tower. You can see that those AoE ultimates could just basically grant you a free tower. And I think using it against a single line, yes, although they did give themselves a kill, it's not that, I don't think that would have been the best trade-off. I think they could have used it during a push or something. But Weaver has picked up a Vitality booster. It's not. I don't think he's gonna go for a Vanguard first. There's no way he's gonna go for Vanguard and then have a random ring of regen. So I think he's gonna go for that very standard hood into Vitality booster, into treads or something, and then go into the Radiance. That it's gonna give him enough survivability. Although every little bit more survivability does help, so he might actually finish a Vanguard. I don't usually see Chinese players doing that. We do see a little bit of creep track going on, but look at the mini map. We do see a couple of teleportation going on the top lane, and they might be making a go on the Necrolite. I'm keeping my eyes on that mini map, so I'm not really checking the CS right now. Observer, please, they're 3 or 4 to going on the Necrolite right now. Do check that score, and you see Necrolite going down. Chinese observers, man. Well, I can't say shit because I'm a Chinese observer too. But anyways, they got a kill against Necrolite, and that's yet another thing in terms of keeping his farm down. And right now, it's not looking good for IG. And I say this even though Xiao A is getting free farm. Why do I say this? Xiao A is getting free farm, but he's buying defensive items. So we're not looking at any real DPS coming from the IG team for a long time. Yeah, they can have Finger and Necrolite ult, but that's it. Against one unit, they're gonna have Roar and some measly AoE team. They're not gonna have the Weaver doing a lot of physical DPS, and they're not gonna have the Necrolite tanking a lot either. So IG right now, they're very, very inventory dependent, or they're not getting the inventory right now. So it's looking really, really bad. As you see a little bit initiation, Chain Frost against one unit, and here's a Tear and a Magic Missile as well. And now we have DDC coming in. They are gonna kill LC Pro. LC Pro is gonna go down. Clockwork gone down to a very, very strong teleport support coming in from both Necrolite and also Shaker coming in flanking from the side. So good teleport from the Necrolite. Definitely got some EXP, and now he's just farming in the mid lane as well. I definitely think that Scourge team would have lost a lot more heroes if the Lich Chain Frost bounced a little bit better. And I think that was just overall a little bit of miscommunication coming from the Sentinel. And now Void, after he has TP on the bot lane, he's actually not getting any farm. Xiaowei doing an excellent job of keeping the Void back. And now that's where the Hood regen comes in. I mean, the Void can't really go up without taking a lot more physical harass. And the Weaver is not afraid to Sakuchi even within the tower range, because he could just, you know, regen it back with Hood. So that's very, very strong play from the Weaver. Even though he doesn't have any damaging item to speak of, he's using his defensive items such as the Hood or the Vanguard parts to make himself really effective. And they just do another creep check. I hope you guys saw it, because I did not. You guys would know better if Zoe is farming well, but I'm guessing that he's not right now. We do see a couple of guys coming in from the Sentinel, and they might be trying to get a gank on the Weaver, but little do they know the Scourge team is also sending 2 or 3 reinforcement coming, and we might see a pretty big scale battle, especially if Shaker and Lion could get into position. Now we have Weaver casting that swarm, but he gets Dream Coil, and now he might be in trouble. Sentry Ward, 2 Sentry Ward being dropped down, but a Fisher and a Magic Missile, Fisher and an Impale getting him low, and that Weaver got out with a time lapse. Now at full HP, Chronosphere only against a single unit. Not the best Chronosphere. Patchcat working on the line. Lion might be in trouble. And here comes, is Lion gonna survive? No, a Nova picks him off. And now here comes a Shaker and the Beastmaster coming in. Beastmaster might be getting worked on. Weaver doing a lot of damage. And where is it? Camera, focus on the Beastmaster, and the clock and the puck is chasing down the Beastmaster, but I think they should turn back right now because Fisher cooldown is very, very soon right now, and Zoe comes around. He has no mana, so he can't do too much. Weaver on the back line, he's working on the Lich. Swarm is being casted. Lich goes down right now. Fisher doing so much damage. I definitely think, and now when we see the clock might be in trouble. Can he make it out alive though? Another stun, he uses clock, and that should be the end of the chase. So I think the Sentinel definitely overextended himself just a little bit, but that's still a 1-for-1 team trade. Now the Lion has responded. He's trying to come back right now. I think Puck is walking definitely into the wrong direction. He is going to get hexed and impale for sure. There's a hex. They need to chain stun properly. That's not a proper chain stun. As you see, he just phased, and is he going to orb out? He's trying to orb out, and it looks like he is going to orb out. No, the attacks of the Weaver follows, and Lion DDC gets himself a kill. So that's very, very well done for the Scourge team right now, and they can transition into a bot push if they choose to do so. It looks like they're not going to do that. Lion's very, very low on mana, and they have Zoe farming in the mid lane. And I believe this is the correct strategic choice. You know, a lot of teams will say, why don't we go for Roshan? Why don't we go for the bot push tower? Again, what the Scourge looking for is items. They don't do any damage with the items. Necrolite needs item to tank. The Weaver needs item to do damage, and right now they have none of that. Of course, you want a Blink Dagger on your Beastmaster, maybe. You want a Blink Dagger on your Earthshaker and Lion, definitely. So they just want to turtle and farm. They don't want to take any unnecessary team fights, especially at this stage of the game when they're not that strong. The Weaver does have the Hood finish, have a Vitality booster. You can see that he's only got 1,000 HP, but his effective HP is quite high. He's got pretty good armor, being an agility hero. He's got a lot of magic resistance. Magic resistance through the Hood. Also a lot of regen as well. So he's looking pretty good. Between Sakuchi and Time Lapse, he's gonna be fine. But again, Scourge team is looking to be defensive. They're looking to be farming. Meanwhile, the Sentinel, they want to take the fights, but they gotta be quite smart about it. I think in the last fight, the Chronosphere was not the best plays. I think Patch had tried to get 2 or 3 at the same time using the very edge of the Chronosphere, but he just missed a little bit. But not too much of a big deal. I'm gonna talk about the I guess the Dota 2 graphics and my initial reaction to it. So in terms of Dota 2 graphic, I like it. It's very, very smooth, but right now I'm not used to it. As we see, maybe a little gank attempt coming top lane. As we see orange and the yellow, they're definitely coming up top. So Chinese observers, you gotta look, man. You got top lane. We see 3 guys. They're going for the Necrolite. Necrolite is seen right now because there's a hook going in, and I don't even know what spell's being casted. Probably a magic missile. And okay. All right. Alright, so Dota 2 graphics, it's pretty smooth, but sometimes I have trouble seeing things, especially if it's on the Scourge side at night. Like, it just gets too dark for me, so I'm not used to that. Also, it seems like the height of the camera is a little bit different. It's higher, which I kind of like because you see a little bit more. You see a little bit more especially when you're playing game. I do like to have a closer camera angle during the earlier stage of the game, but I think in the later stages of the game where ganks become more important or team fights become more important, you generally want to see more parts of the screen. So I suppose that's an okay change, but what I personally would rather like to see is having the ability to adjust how high your camera angle is at the touch of your fingertip. Maybe you could set, there's a bar where you could set, I want to be at a certain level of zoom, if you will. So that's kind of what I'm hoping. The other thing I really don't like about the new system setup or the screen setup is if you look at the minimap, it's pretty damn small, or at least to me is smaller than the Dota 1 minimap. And I use the minimap a lot in terms of casting, and pro players use the minimap a lot, of course, when they're playing the game. So I think that that portion of the map should be made a little bit bigger. But you can see that they kind of have this very nicely balanced going on. I don't know what these two like empty boxes is supposed to do, but maybe they have some special feature for it right now. The Scourge team is pushing the mid tower right now. Swarm is used just for the sight and maybe to scare the Sentinel guys away right now. Tower is very, very low. Rocket, are we going to see some good initiation? Dreamcore grabbing 2 hero. Are we going to have Chain Frost bouncing non-stop? And here's that Chronosphere, and that is the team fight I'm talking about, the AoE team fight. You can see the Sentinel getting kills left and right here, and now the Void still doing a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Weaver getting a killing spree. He's working at the backline right now. The Observer is still not looking. Now they're going back in the Weaver. Weaver is still at very high HP. He can go for the Venge right now. Venge very low mana as well. No, he's going to turn back for the Void. Terror being casted right now. I think they're going to be fine. No Swarm being coming. Tower is denied right now. So very, very strong play from OK.Nirvana right now. They got a couple of kills. I think they traded like a 3 for 2. Definitely a good trade, especially when your Void got a lot of assist gold. He got maybe a hero kill or 2 and also a tower deny. So that's a very, very strong play coming from OK.Nirvana. They are down by 2 towers right now. They lost one in the bot lane and they deny one at mid. But for the most part, they're okay. Like, losing the first 2 towers, you're not losing too much map control, but you gotta be a little bit worried if you're playing on Sentinel and you're losing your early towers, because as you know, Sentinel is a little bit further away from the Roshan camp compared to the Scourge team. So keeping your mid tower, your tier 1 mid tower alive is very, very good. If there's a very early Roshan fight, you could just TP there or buy back and TP there if there's a very extended Roshan fight. So there is some advantage for Scourge taking that, the initial mid tower and the bot tower. Let's do a quick farm. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, there is some advantage in terms of taking those 2 towers, but it's not that big of a deal. But it does have an impact in the game, so I just want to point that out. We do see Clockwork finishing Urn. He's gonna go for a Vanguard as well. He does have Arcane Boots finish as well, so pretty good farm for a Clock, and he definitely got a lot of farm, especially against the Necrolite with the support of Lich, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier, being Lich is very strong support hero no matter what lane he's going for. And looking at mecha, he does have looking at the on the Necrolite, he's trying to finish the mecha, had the buckler, had a headdress, but still a little bit away from that mecha being finished. Faceless Void does have 2k gold right now. He's not making the Vanguard. I mean, he could buy the Vanguard like right now, and he's not doing that. So that's quite curious. So I'm not too sure what he's saving up for right now. There's no way he's going to go for a straight butterfly. I think going in Mantis side right now, it's also not a very tough choice. BKB this early in the game is not that good either. So I think he's going to just go for a Battle Fury. We've definitely seen some very top farming players such as Yamate or ZSMJ. They do really prefer a Battle Fury on heroes such as Anti-Mage or Gondar, as we see Lone DD did it once, and now on Void. So, I mean, Battle Fury often considered as a very pub item, but there's definitely good things about the Battle Fury. Are we going to have a team fight going on? A little bit of tower pushing. There's 3 or 4 trying to push down this tower, but I think, yeah, Sentinel have all their ultimates up, and you could tell right now by these green dots over here, that means all their ultimates are up. I believe Void is having a TP scroll, so it's going to be very, very difficult to push this tower. Weaver's going to try. He's leading the way right now. Got Booster and the Hood still, and of course, Strength Shreds. But yeah, the Void with the TP scroll, he's going to be fine. I think the Scourge team knows that as well. They don't want to fight any unnecessary fights. They don't want to commit too much. So I think they should turn back right now, and I believe they are going to be doing that shortly, or I hope they are going to be doing that shortly. Yeah, it's going to be quite difficult to push against the Illusion Orb. The Rocket's always giving sight. They do pop the Mecha right now for a little bit of regen, but this is just constantly giving Patchcat a little bit more and more farm, as he's basically free farming right now. His CS is probably ridiculously high right now. The next time I see the CS screen coming up, I'm gonna just pay very close to attention. Yeah. Now, as soon as Void saw the Scourge team back away, he's like, you know what? Now I don't need to save my TP scroll for the top lane anymore, so I'm gonna TP the mid and farm even more there as well. So very good management of the TP scroll, very good management of the position, and you know, a lot of times when you're a carry player, you just farm, and don't think about the team. But you can see that Patchat is still farming, but he's working his TP scroll around the team in a way that he could still keep his farming, but not put his team at a 4v5 disadvantage if a team fight actually happens. So it looks like the Scourge team is actually going for the Roshan, and I don't think, no, he's walking by the Roshan. Whew. I don't think going for the Roshan on the Scourge is that good of an idea, even if they're so close to Roshan, you know, being the fact that they're playing on the Scourge side. Sentinel has one of the best Roshan jacking team there is. Like, they have the Rocket for sight, they have the Terror for sight, the hook in such a small vicinity, they could cog at least 3 or 4. The Chain Frost is gonna be completely rampant, you know, no creeps tanking everything. And then we're going to have the Chronosphere to finish it off. Of course, the Dream Coil and the Raining Rift. There's just like a dozen and plus 2 more spells to rape a Roshan. Now we see Clock zipping in with the hook and grabbing Zoe. Very, very well played by the Clock. Very good job. So, and if you notice that system message that just popped right now, Battle Fury is picked up by the Void. So let's go back to the analysis of Battle Fury and why that might be a good item or why that might be a bad item. I think the Observer is pointing out that Mecha is finished. So anyways, Battle Fury often is considered as a pub item because it gives the build-up's fairly easy. It's very good regen and very good damage, but it does not give you any survivability. And Void as a hero needs needs pretty good. he has like 1000 HP. He's gonna get Chain Stun down, and that's normally the reaction to it right now. But I think in this case, that's a very, very strong item choice. For multiple reasons. First, you have the Clock and you have the Dream Coil keeping everyone very close to each other. We have a lot of teleportation coming in. Dream Coil grabbing to there. Focus on the Weaver. Weaver goes down under the Dream Coil, and now they're going to focus on Shaker. Shaker's going to get Chain Stun down as well. Void doing so much damage, and that is one of the benefits of the Battle Fury, and I believe that's the end of the team fight. Yes, for the 4,600 gold, Battle Fury is one of the most cost-effective item in terms of gold per damage. There's some other item that rival it, such as the Divine Rapier, but you know, that's not a really realistic choice, or the Armlet, but Armlet's only really good for strength heroes. So for you know, melee agility heroes, the Battle Fury as a raw DPS item, that's a very, very strong choice. And secondly, you know, before that team fight broke out, you have Clockwork, you have Dream Coil. Most of the time, you're up against enemies that clumps very, very hard, and that's what Battle Fury does best. You know, you splash damage. So in that regard, in terms of team fight, your Battle Fury is quite effective in that regard. Thirdly, you're winning right now. Like, you see that in the last couple of team fights, Void is not taking any damage. He's not even taking a Hex. He's not even taking a stun. Or even if he's taking the damage, he's not taking fatal damage. So there's no reason to get extra survivability when the game doesn't need it. Like, you're fine. You're not even dying. You're not even close to dying. Your team is dominating. You have very good AoEs. You could just jump in and attack at will. So Vanguard, even though normally a standard game, it would be a very good choice, in this game, it will be a necessary choice. So might as well get some damage for it. So I mean, that's good enough reason for me to pick up a Battle Fury, and I'm pretty sure Patchcat think the same as well. And lastly, Battle Fury extends your farming time so much. Like, he just go into the lane, hit the lane 3 times, and all the creeps are dead, and then he go back to the jungle. The fact that you're moving around all the time makes the Scourge think, like, where the hell is the Void right now? Is he initiating a team fight? Where the hell is the team right now? Like, they have to constantly keep an eye on the minimap, and they have to be constantly on the toe. Like, maybe they were going to play a little bit more defensive. They won't extend themselves, you know, further and further into the enemy territory. It might not seem like a big thing, but that's definitely something when you have a Battle Fury and you're going into the jungle and disappearing. In this high level of play, it matters. It matters a lot. And now the Void is gonna come back. He's like, you know what, I'm farming your lane. There's a swarm going off, but both you know, oh, actually uses ultimate as well. So okay, maybe he was afraid of a Chronosphere. I'm not too sure why he used it. He was a fairly healthy HP as well, but no big deal. I don't think there's a team fight gonna break out anytime soon. Anyways, we do see a couple guys going on the top Sentinel, and the Observer decides to watch Void farm because that's, you know, obviously more effective or more interesting. So I think there's going to be a fight on top lane, and I hope the observer catches this time. We do have an invisible clockwork coming in. Let's see if he can initiate on anything right now. Beastmaster's on the run. No, Shaker's right there, and Shaker, oh man, if they got a clock right there, that would have looked ugly. And now with the clock being invisible, he's scouting in, he's looking for a good hooking position. Zoe is actually doing a little bit of baiting of himself on the top lane, knowing that he has 4 or 5 teammates in the back. But little do they know that they're facing against the invisible clock. Both teams decide to play it defensive. Sentinel's thinking to themselves, we got the Void farming. We got one of the best semi carry transition to late game carry. But I'll talk about why I don't think Void is a good late game carry in just a bit if I have the time to do so. Are they initiating into fight? Look at the top, Azure. Look at the top. Okay, yeah, I don't think Void is that strong of a late game carry. And I believe, yeah, if you watch my first ever commentary with 715, the dual commentary, it was Deserto against DC Com, and it was Anti-Mage versus Void. Void definitely was the strongest hero on the map. Like, by that, if you want to look at that definition alone, he's definitely a very strong hardcore carry. But he wasn't able to win the game because he wasn't able to keep up. Like, Ghost Scepters became a problem, Force Staff became a problem, things like Blade Mail became a problem, and the fact that the Void was the melee hero, he had to switch target all the time, and he did not do the full potential damage. So in terms of that, the fact that you had to switch target, you can't keep up with the enemy team, that makes you a weaker carry, even though you have probably the best DPS in this game. So I hope that makes sense. If you want to compare to a Weaver, like if Weaver is focusing on a target, if that target somehow runs away, he could easily switch to another target. He has Swarm to back him up. He has Sakuchi to back him up in terms of chasing and also escaping. So Weaver in that essence is, in my opinion, better carry. Even though there's no way in hell he could go toe-to-toe against Void 1v1, but he kills better, especially kills support a lot better. So I think the Weaver is the better carry in this case, and also Scourge team has a better composition of late game. They have very strong stuns, such as the Beastmaster Roar. They have Hexes, and that's going to be strong. Let's compare the quick CS check. 170 on the Void, probably a lot of neutrals as well. 158 on the Weaver, so Weaver not falling that behind, even though he's up against a Battlefield Void. But I think Void has a lot more whatchamacallit, neutral kills as well, and looks like the Weaver is quite close to his Radiance. Void does also have 3,500 gold in the bank. He's definitely gonna go for that Butterfly. I think. Yeah, I think Butterfly would be a very good item to go for a couple of mechanic reasons. So let's look at the most obvious reason, right? The most obvious reason is Butterfly is probably one of the best agility carry items. Not only does it give you 60 attack, not only does it give you 60 damage, it can increase your attack speed by a lot, and more importantly, the most important part, the mechanic part, is that it gives you evasion. Now, as you know, evasion does not stack, so backtrack gives you pseudo evasion, meanwhile the Butterfly gives you, I guess, quote-unquote real evasion. Since backtrack is based on pseudo evasion and Butterfly is, a different form of evasion, basically you're stacking evasion. You basically increase your survivability, at least against physical damage, by so much, by stacking all those evasion. And more importantly, you might be thinking, well, why don't the enemy team just get an MKB? Screw your freaking backtrack, screw your freaking things like butterfly evasion. Why don't they just get an MKB and be done with it? Yes, they can, but not Weaver, because Weaver Gemini attack and True Strike has a very funny interaction. Like, they don't work perfectly well together. You have to turn off True Strike to get the full effects of Gemini attack. So I'm not too sure whether Patchcat thought about that mechanic aspect. Probably not. He probably just say, Butterfly is such a strong item on Void, and he's completely right if he thinks that. But the extra effect of that is, Weaver can get MKB. He can't use MKB to go through my evasion. So that's the extra Luminous nerd mechanic that I want to throw in the game. It's always good to apply mechanics into the Dota game. And yeah, let's segue back into Dota 2 right now and compare that to Dota 1. In terms of mechanics, it seems like everything is the same. Unlike Han, actually I haven't played Han. I think I played one Han game or maybe two, so I can't even say for sure. But I've heard either Han or LOL, the heroes have the same attack animation. Like, all heroes have the same attack animation. And that's not the case for Dota 1 or Dota 2. It seems like, you know, CM's attack animation is still shit. Meanwhile, you know, things like Sniper's attack animation is still very, very good. So the attack animation is different. It seems like all things that are intended are the same. Like, you know, orbs don't stack, you can't crit out of Lothars, you know, stuff like that. The basic mechanics, the basic Dota 1 stuff in the game is the same as Dota 2. So it's like Dota 1 with the new graphic engine, like a Han-like graphic engine. As we see initiation going on the Weaver taking so much damage, hooking just for the extra stun time and the damage. And who was the noob that said, I guess Chronosphere and Clockwork don't synergize, and that was a very good use of the hook shot, even within the Chronosphere, just to do the extra damage and the stun time. Very, very well played by OK team. And Weaver getting caught, that's generally not the case, but against a 3 or 4 second pause stun from the Void, that is definitely a very difficult thing to survive against. And I believe that's the Eagle Horn being picked up on the Void. And meanwhile, a huge team fight going on, and I don't know why Sentinel is taking this fight. This might be their first mistake. I'll talk about this in just a bit. And now we see the Sentinel on full retreat, and observers go back to the team fight. Clock is going to go down, and Weaver is going to be chasing non-stop. Can he find the Lich? Can he kill the Lich? That's 3 kills down. I don't even know how that team fight started out, but I don't know why. I think definitely IG initiated that team fight. There's no way Scourge would have been looking for fights. IG probably jumped in with the Dream Coil, jumped in with the Chain Frost. But the problem is they decided to take the fight without their heaviest DPS hero, and that made no sense. You're winning the game right now. Your Void's farming. Why don't you just fight with the Void and make it simple? I guess Fear just felt that, you know what, maybe I saw a hero in out of position, so I'm gonna blink in and try to get a quick kill. But little does he know that the rest of the Scourge team was waiting, and that might put themselves in a very precarious position as you see the Scourge team getting ready to the Roshan. We do see 3 or 4 guys dead. The Clock is still dead, but I don't think they could take the Rosh. I really don't think they could take the Rosh right now, because Chronosphere is. No, it's Chronosphere. So, yeah, Chronosphere just green light. So, Chronosphere is up. Chain Frost isn't up right now. Clock Hookshot as well. Swap is also up. They could actually jump in right now, and the Scourge team knows that as well. So, they're going to back off. And now we're going to go into, like, this standoff where the Scourge team is going to stand on top of their hill. The Sentinel team is going to stand on top of their hill and then just, like, do this. In terms of standing up hills and have a long like stare off, I think it favors Sentinel a little bit more because of the Clockwork, because of the Terror. They have more range to work with, they have more sight to work with. Here, sure, the Beastmaster have Hawk, but the Clockwork also have the option to send those rockets into other lanes and push those lanes, and you know that will force you to defend eventually. It looks like the Sentinel guys are just going left and right now. And the Scourge is going to give up the Roshan just for now. But one thing I want to point out is that the Scourge is keeping all their towers alive. Well, this one's going to go down very, very quickly now. Void comes in and gets a very easy kill. Dream Core, Puck gets, hook shot. Oh, wow, look at that team fight. Chronosphere plus the Chain Frost. Another easy team fight. You can see as if these 5 all stick together and use all their AoE ults, the Scourge just melts so easily, man. It makes it look ridiculously easy. Both the Necrolite and the Beastmaster went down without casting a single spell. And the Scourge team could definitely lose the 2nd tier tower or the Roshan. Yeah, I think the Sentinel is going for Roshan. Necrolite sees that and buys back immediately. He teleports to the bot tower, and that's the advantage of keeping your bot tower up alive for such a long time. And I think the Sentinel does sense it as well. They might be back off, and now the Weaver might be in trouble. He's at half HP. Sakushi's in, but I think he's out of his position right now. Oh man, he gets cogged. Can he? No, he's not gonna come out. And Weaver might be in trouble. Does he have buyback though? I don't think he does. And there's a pretty good Fisher block. And now we see the Void coming in for the Beastmaster, for the Shaker. Shaker is gonna run out fine. And I think that should be the end of it. But without the Weaver alive, that's gonna give him a free ticket into. No, Weaver buys back, and now we see the Necrolite in trouble as well. You gotta keep in mind the Necro just bought back, so he won't have another buyback of Mecha being used. Necrolite still in trouble. Necrolite goes down, and this is yet another 4v5 fight IG have to take, or either that they're gonna lose Roche, and if they give Aegis to Roche, and now we see the Void being in trouble. Are we gonna have Echo Slam? Are we having Fisher? Where's the Fisher? Fisher is gonna be casted Chainstun, and now we have the Weaver Swarm jumps back in the Swarm is giving the sight, and here comes Weaver trying to get the kill. He does have Radiance finish, a lot of plus damage on the Weaver. Is he gonna come in? Is he trying to get the kill? Dream Call being used, but he's in Sakushi, so he's not going to grab it. Now Weaver grabs the kill. Well done by the IG. They were going to lose the Roche, but quick buybacks. Now we have the Sentinel all buying back. Are we going to have yet another Roshan fight? Necrolite still dead right now. But that kill on the Void was so huge. It forced double buyback from the Sentinel. Even though they might not get the Aegis right now, forcing a buyback on the Void is almost as good as getting Aegis on yourself. So that's very, very well done by the IG, man. That action in the last maybe 2 minutes just went through the roof. The score is 15-12. Tower counts, it's fairly even right now, but more importantly, again, I want to stress out the Scourge has kept up their base tower right here. Right here, this base tower was so huge, as we saw Necrolite buying back, as we see Weaver buying back, and then getting into the team fight so quickly because they have that tower up. And again, that's the advantage of keeping up your early tier towers. And now Necrolite does have the Mecha finish. He has an Ultimate Orb as well. It's going to go for a Hex, but I don't think he's going to farm his Hex anytime soon. Meanwhile, we have, let's see what the Earthshaker. Earthshaker has got Arcane Boots. Puck's got the Blink Dagger finish. He also has an Ultimate Orb. So Puck's actually doing fairly well in terms of his item. Butterfly finish on the Faceless Void right now. And then he has a Battle Fury. I think Void's next item has to be a BKB. It has to be a BKB. Because Void right now, if he jumps in, even though he does so much damage, if the Scourge is properly positioned, and they will be properly positioned in the next coming team fights, I can't believe it if IG continue to fall for these, you know, wombo combo team fights. I won't believe it. I won't believe it, really. So Scourge is gonna smart up, and when the Void jumps in, he's either gonna get fissured, hexed, or roared. So he has to worry about, you know, 3 or 4 guys. But if he gets a BKB, the only person he has to worry about is the Beastmaster, because he could just focus the Beastmaster with his BKB turned on, maybe Chronosphere the Beastmaster, or bash the Beastmaster, and then he's gonna be fine because he's gonna be impervious to all the other guys. So I think that's definitely a very smart choice. And also, you generally just want magic immunity, and that's pretty good. Meanwhile, we saw Weaver picking up the tower at the top. So Scourge team, despite being defensive, they actually has the tower advantage. Like, they're not looking for those full-scale pushes, but they're still grabbing towers left and right. And now we see a smoke being used. Are they going to try to pick off someone? Maybe they're looking for the Weaver at the milling. Is that the Weaver? Yeah, Weaver is going to turn back to his teammates, and that's going to be fine. So far, we're not seeing the effectiveness of Beastmaster right now. His Hawk is up. I guess that's a reason to explain such a low kill count. 15-12 might be because of Beastmaster in the game. And now we saw the Void teleport to the top lane. Or did he walk to the top lane? No, he does not have a teleport scroll. And that might be a huge blunder for the Scourge team, because now the Sentinel is forced to initiate. No, it looks like the Fear is going against the Beastmaster. I think he wasted a Dream Core as well. But meanwhile, Weaver working against the Clockwork right now. And that was not a good opening for the Sentinel, because I think they wasted Dream Core as well. A Chronosphere grabbing only one, and where's a Roar? Yes, there is a Roar, and they're focusing on Patch Cat right now. Where's a Hex? Yes, Hex, and then Impale after. They're focusing everything on Patch Cat. Patch Cat is going to walk out with half HP, but meanwhile, this gives time to Necrolite to get him killed on the Vengeful Spirit. And Swarm is going to be casted as well. Weaver on cleanup duty. He's going to go for the... is that the Lich or the Puck? That's the Puck. Puck's going to go down. His Blink Dagger is still on cooldown. He's definitely going to go down. He phases it, but that's not going to be enough. And Void now has to turn back. Dude, they have buyback right now. That's 3 deaths on the Sentinel and no Chronosphere for the Void. We do have a Puck buyback, but I don't think that's enough. So that buyback just wasted go, in my opinion. And now Scourge team just gets themselves a free Aegis. Wow, I don't want to say it, but that might just have been a huge misplay by OK.Nirvana or Patch Cat specifically. He did not have a TP scroll, and he was too far away from his team. Maybe they thought that the Scourge team was not going to go for Aegis, but the Scourge team definitely did, and the Sentinel just had to initiate off that team fight. Puck did pick off the Shaker right off the bat, but Weaver was just doing so much work. He did not have to worry about the Chronosphere, so he just went crazy on the Clockwork, went crazy on the Lich, and that definitely did not bode well for the Sentinel. Score is 16-15 right now, but this game is so close. Weaver is starting to get dangerous. He's got the Radiance finish. He's looking at a heart right now. And I think once he does finish the heart, he's not going to be afraid of the Faceless Void. Because if you look at the Sentinel lineup right now, like, that's the peak of their AoE prowess. Like, their spells won't get that much stronger. The spell won't be able to keep up with the item progression of the Scourge. The only hope that they do have left is the Void. And the Void, like I said earlier, is a very strong mid-game and a very strong late-game DPS, but I don't think he's a carry because he's melee, and he just can't keep up like a Weaver can. So I think my Nirvana OK might be hitting their peak very, very soon, and they gotta take advantage of right now, because I do think Scourge they will only get stronger. Like, this Necrolite will only get to a Hex, the Weaver would only get to a Heart, and sooner or later we're gonna see Blink Daggers on maybe Beastmasters, the Shaker on the line, and when that comes, like, the Scourge team could actually initiate, right? Right now, a Sentinel team is initiating all the fights, but with the Lion picking up a Blink Dagger, with the Shaker picking up the Blink Dagger, the Scourge team could actually initiate and push your towers, and at that point, I'm not too sure whether that's gonna be good, but that's just a very far off worry for OK.Nirvana right now, because they are so stronger, their spells so stun very hard, they nuke very hard right now, and they have the strongest DPS hero on the game, so they could definitely go for the win, go for a very strong gank, and then just push and win. But it seems like the Sentinel is not doing that. It seems like, they're like, oh, we have Void, let's keep farming. I think that's a very dangerous mindset, and I don't think that's a mindset that we should learn. But we do see Heart. Yeah, that is the Heart, I believe, the recipe. Yeah, the Heart recipe and the item for the Weaver. Weaver is gonna be sitting around 2k HP, a whole bunch of regen, and a whole bunch of magic resistance, and more importantly, time lapse. Like, he's not gonna die. So we'll see though. This game still comes down to positioning. You saw that in the last couple of team fights, or in the couple of mid team fights. Chronosphere plus Chain Frost plus Hook was just ridiculous damage, and we do see BKB being picked up, mostly for the reason I've said earlier. Now he just have to worry about the Beastmaster. He could just go in and focus the Beastmaster and then turn on his BKB and basically ignore the other guys. And again, he could kill still very quickly, so BKB, it will allow them to have 10 seconds of free DPS. So since like both teams farming, gonna go back to talk about Dota 2 and then the difference or similarity of Dota 1. Again, like what I said earlier, everything seems to be the same. Like, most of the stuff seems to be the same. Although there's some I'm not too sure whether it's bug or intended. Of course, Dota 2 is not completed yet, so there's still a lot of stuff unfinished in the game. Two things I've noticed. The first is Doom could actually devour player control units. Like in Dota 1, it was not able to do that. And when I talk about devouring player control unit, I think he devoured a Beastmaster Hawk one game against the enemy team, and he actually got the Hawk's ability. So the Doom, basically, when he stood still, he just turned invis. Like, that's actually pretty ridiculous if you ask about me. I'm not too sure whether that's intended. If it was, then that's totally different from Dota 1. I think it might have just been something that was not intended. So Shaker just bought a Blink Dagger, and this might be a bad sign for the Sentinel team. Again, now the Scourge team has the option to go on the offensive. They still don't have to, because I still believe Scourge team has a better late game. But now they do have the option. The Shaker could position himself a lot better. In the previous team fights, he had to stay close to the team fight so he could walk in an Echo and walk in with a Fisher. But now he doesn't have to. He won't be as easily picked off by the Void anymore. So that Blink Dagger helps their positioning so much. But going back to the Dota 2 and Dota 1 comparison, the second thing I noticed that was maybe a little bit different from Dota 1, but I'm not too sure whether I was seeing things or if I was not watching closely. I think Venomous Gale at level 1, it doesn't do the evenly 10 damage per tick. It seems like it does 10 damage and then 5 damage and then back to 10 or 5. I'm not too sure. Like that, those are the only two tiny things I've noticed that is different from Dota 1, but for the most part, or for the majority part, it's very much the same. And now we have the Weaver with the Aegis, with the Heart, with the Radiance, a time lapse. He's got like 3 lives. He's a third of way to being my cat so cute. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a survivor, and I think he's saving for buyback right now. And once he does have buyback, that's 4 lives, and 4 lives on a Weaver, that's a pretty scary thought. So gonna leave it like that. Both teams farming it up, and in terms of initiating, the Sentinels still have the advantage. They still have the Clockwork, they still have the Tear, they still have the Swap, Blink Dagger, Dream Coil, all of those spells, the whole shebang. But in terms of defensive team fights, now that your Shaker has a Blink Dagger, if you ever clump up against a Weaver, if you ever clump up against a Necro, you will just take Echo Slam to the face. You would take Fissure to the face, as we see the Nikolai finishing the Hex. The Hex, I mean, if he finished it maybe 5 minutes earlier, that would have been having a huger impact in the game. But now that BKB is purchased on the Void, it's not going to matter too much, at least not in the nearby, you know, in the near 5-7 minutes. But until the BKB duration gets low enough, then it's going to start to make a big difference. And my fan just fell over, so hold up. Okay, good. I had a feeling that when I go pick up my fan, like a huge team fight would happen, and that would have been bad. But okay, so let's look about some of the, I guess, the commentating aspect of Dota 2, which so far I find pretty good. Like it's pretty cool to look at. Like I like this bar thing they have at the top. It shows very clearly who has their ultimates up. I don't need to pull down a screen to check out. At least from the observers, they seem like on the press of one button on their keyboard, you could bring up the farm screen, which is pretty good as well. Although the farm screen don't give me the necessary, well, no, all the information. Maybe I want to see the cost of requiring to get a buyback. Maybe I want to see how many wards was bought. Like those information is still not there. And of course, the Chinese observer decides to watch Void farming, as we see a huge push by the Scourge at bottom. Right now, Scourge, again, they're being on the offensive right now. Actually, IG believes they could win the game right now, which is kind of a scary thought, especially if you're OK.Nirvana fan, because you still have the biggest AoE team fight, you still have the biggest DPS machine, but IG is looking to win. Like, so just keep that in mind as we watch the rest of the game. So going back to the commentating thing, it's very, very nice addition. Now I can see, you know, who's how many level of skills he has. You know, we used to have to do some, you know, crazy Asian math to like, oh, how many stats points did he get? You know, we had to guess like, you know, what's the level of Zora. But now we can see very clearly, you know, what skills that they have. One thing I don't like right now is that the damage screen, this is right here. This thing is too small for my taste, at least. At least as a commentator, I want to see, you know, I want to see him, you know, 143 plus 85 or something like that. I want those in big numbers. I want to see how many agility. I can't even tell. Like that's 49 plus my screen's covering. But you know what I'm saying? That's a little bit too small for my taste. But I kind of understand they want to make room for other stuff, and it makes sense. I still don't know what the hell this is about, though. We might see a huge team fight coming on, though. We do see Puck picking up a Guinsoo. No, it's not a Guinsoo anymore. It's just an Hex. I think they stopped calling it a Guinsoo because Guinsoo can actually sue them, like literally. Like he could sue them, and he works for Low right now, right? I believe so. Yeah, and Low is a competitor to Dota 2, so they could sue them. Yeah. So, anyways, look at the position of the Scourge team right now. The Shaker could stay so far away. The Beastmaster is staying pretty far away, and the Shaker could stay far away because of the Blink Dagger, and this tower is gonna go down now. Blink Dagger getting 3 hero with the Impale. Shaker comes in, and now where's the Chronosphere? Chronosphere grabbing Zoe and Xiao A. What a Chronosphere! You can see Zoe losing damage so very quickly, but the Beastmaster Roar just cancel him. Zoe is gonna go down regardless, but Weaver is getting a double kill. He's looking for a triple kill right now while doing so much damage. He time lapse, no big deal, and now the chain stun comes from the Scourge team. We do see a time walk out from the Void, and that should be the end of the team fight. Puck comes in for a little bit of Dream Coil action, a little bit late right now. At the end of the team fight, we do see 2-2, but the Weaver is getting the kills. I think Void got 1 kill as well, but the Weaver is still alive right now, and he is just hitting on the Sentinel Tower. Here comes the Void trying to scare everyone back, but Void, here's the melee problem with the Void. He's going to get kited, he's going to get chain stunned, and this Weaver is going to dance all around him. That team fight went very even. If you just want to look at the hero, you know, kill-death ratio, or who died and who survived. But you got to keep in mind that Scourge took the mid-tier tower, the second-tier tower, and also they did a little bit more damage to the base tower. So I definitely think the advantage is laying against the Weaver. Weaver, I think he lost the Aegis, but not because he died, but because it just timed out. So, ooh, what's going on right now? His Radiance is making like these creeps having Super Saiyan mode. Like there's some freaking energy blast coming off their back. Like that's they're turning into like Goku 3, and you see the Roshan has responded because it's 10 minutes after. And let's see if the Scourge team is gonna go for Roshan again. I don't think they could do so. They shouldn't fight in this narrow choke area. Although maybe now that you have Shaker with the Blink Dagger, maybe they do stand a better chance. But I'm not too sure. But look at the gold on the Weaver right now: 6,000 gold, a heart, a buyback, and then TPs who are like. And you gotta keep in mind. Look at this mini map. The tower is still up. Like, if there's ever a Roshan fight and the Weaver dies, he could just buy back immediately and TP back. So, again, that's a very strong part of the game that don't show up on the scoreboard at the end. How long the Scourge team kept that bot tower alive, and is having a huge impact. It had a huge impact in the first Roshan fight. The Scourge team was able to buy back and TP back immediately. Look at the mid lane Chinese observers. There's guys running around like crazy. That is just a nerf shaker. Never mind. Keep doing what you're doing. Which I suppose is watching Carry's farm. I don't know why Chinese guys like to watch Carry farm. I suppose in Chinese Dota there's like, 2,000-minute long games, right? We use a teleportation scroll coming in. Zoe in trouble. He's taking so much on right now. We have a time lapse. Yeah, Time Walk goes and gets three Chronosphere, and now we see the Beastmaster is gonna go. No, was that Beast? Yes, it's the Beastmaster. He's gonna go down, bash to death, and now we're gonna work on Line dies in 3 hits, and you can see the power of the DPS machine. If you're out of position, if you're clumping right now, and now the Void is trying to find a Weaver. No hope in that. Are we gonna have any buyback? No, we're not. We're gonna see a double kill on the Void, and he's gonna grab a free Aegis, and that might just be the game for IG, because right now, look at the gold on, well, I need to see the gold on the Void, because I think he had a lot of gold when he was grabbing that kill right now. Yeah, well, go back to the Void, click on the Void, Alright, don't click on the Void. Lich has a Medallion Courage, very, very strong item against the Weaver, and with the Aegis, and the fact that Void has a bajillion gold, I think he does. He basically is having a lot of lives as well. Yeah, he's got 7k gold. He's got a Mask of Madness. Wow, a very late game Mask of Madness, which might raise some eyebrow on some people. But think about it. When you turn on Beast KB and Mask of Madness together, you just get the extra attack speed. You don't even get the extra amplified damage against yourself. So that's a pretty good combo, even though if you get it a little late game. Like, it's just that the only downside to that is that once you start losing BKB charges, you might just turn on your Mask of Madness, and once your BKB runs out, you just die. Like, you just get nuked to death. So gotta be a little bit careful about that. Let's look at the Lich's item. Got Strength Treads, Mecha, and Medallion Courage. Very standard support items. I'm not too sure whether the team has a Django. I guess Venge will have one. The score is 22-17 right now. The score was very, very even just a minute ago. And now that with OK claiming that very, very good fight off a sick Chronosphere by Patchcat, they are definitely ahead. Not just by the measly 5 kills, but having the Aegis on the Void. And Void now could lead a charge into the Scourge base if they choose to do so. And I believe they should start doing so. I don't know why OK just want to farm and farm. Because why? I mean, sure, if they believe they have better late game, and it's fair that they should believe they have better late game because they have Void. It's okay that you believe that you have better late game, but I think if you could win the game now, just win it now. At least that's how I see it. Maybe OK.Nirvana right now is seeing, various other aspects that I'm not seeing. So, let's just leave it at that. Let's keep that in mind as the game progresses. And now we do see 3 or 4 guys, 5 guys coming in from the Sentinel, and they are going to claim the 2nd tier tower. And this is what, 55 minutes almost in the game, and the Scourge is only losing their 2nd tier tower. And again, that's a huge thing that IG is keeping up their towers. This is some defensive play, very, very good defensive play, turtling play without having many AoE heroes. A lot of times people think, oh, I need to turtle with AoE heroes, but you know what? They're turtling without many AoE heroes and doing a fairly good job at that. But now I think they are going to lose towers soon. We were forced to TP back, and we're going to see a huge team fight in the Scourge base, and let's see what's going to be happening. Swarm again used to do a little bit of scouting to scare everyone away, and they're waiting for the Chronosphere. Chronosphere is up, all the ultimates on the Sentinel and on the Scourge side is up, and again it comes down to proper positioning. It comes down to who has a better chance then and who is out of position. If you're out of position and if you get initiated upon, well, we saw that last team fight and how that Chronosphere just decimated the Scourge team. Sentinel decides to turn back right now. Maybe they're looking for a little bit of ambush, but again, they gotta be careful because time is money, in my opinion. Especially, again, Void is not that strong as a late game carry. He is doing an insane amount of DPS right now, which, by the way, he has over 9,000 9,000 gold. Like, what, you know, Scouter, what does it say about his gold level? It's over fucking 9,000. But we do have the Scourge Team coming out with the smoke. They have Blink Dagger on the line. They have Blink Dagger on the Shaker. They are going to initiate right now. Where's the Blink Dagger? Blink Dagger, 3 Impale. Shaker comes in with the Echo Slam and a Fisher. Where's the Fisher? Fisher, yes. They're grabbing so many kills right now. 2 kill goes to the Scourge Team. Now we have the Void might be in trouble. Void, a Dream Coil being casted as well. Chronosphere being casted. I believe this is a huge mistake. I'll talk about this later. You can see that he's not killing anything right now, and he's forced to get out. DDC is going for the chase. Where's the Impale? No, Impale misses, and that should be the end of that team. Oh, no, there's a Fisher. Are they going to keep chasing? Are they going to keep chasing? No, I think he could just time walk out. And the reason I say that Chronosphere is absolutely a huge mistake is, well, A, he didn't kill anyone within the Chronosphere, and now he can't fight anymore. Void without Chronosphere, it's just a big ass melee creeps that could jump around. Like, that's it. Like, he's not gonna be able to team fight. Especially with 2 teammates dead. I think what OK.Nirvana did right now should have just left their Chronosphere and then just, you know what, back off, and maybe we'll lose a tower, maybe we'll lose even 1 Rax, but we will still retain the ability to fight right now. You can see the Scourge Team right now. They don't even care. They're clumping right next to each other. If you look at Dictionary.com and if you look at the clump, the word clump, you will see IG right now. This picture will be on Dictionary.com next to clump because they don't freaking care. They don't freaking care. Void does not have the Chronosphere. They don't care at all. They all clump up and they focus on the Rax. And the Sentinel knows this. They can't go in and fight without the Chronosphere. They just lose 1 Rax for basically nothing. Here comes the Void. He still does not have Chronosphere. He's forced to fight right now after losing the Rax. And now we see Zoe might be in trouble. Zoe heals himself a lot of times, but he is going to go down regardless. And now we have Xiao A just dishing out mega damage. He's got, like, he's double kill. And where's that Void? I don't know where he is, but I don't think he's doing enough right now. DDC still alive. Beastmaster still alive. The only thing that's dead right now is Zoe. Now we see him getting kited, yes, and now the Void just died. He just bought back, but triple kill being picked up by Xiao A, and now Scourge Team got what they wanted. They got a kill on the Void, they got bought back, they got the bot Rex, and I gotta say, the game is over. The game is just really over right now. The Scourge Team is too strong. Oh no, Hex comes in on Xiao A. We have a Dream Coil and a Hook going in right now against Xiao A, but Xiao A, with the help of the Fisher, he could get out right now. There's a Dream Coil going in. Wow, keep chasing, keep chasing. Oh, Blink from the Shaker. Shaker, it's gonna be fine. He's gonna cast a Fisher, and I think that should be the end. Actually, they might get a kill on the Puck though. Oh, Chronosphere is going on. Oh, is he dying? Is he dying? He's not. Xiao A is like, bro, where you at, Void? You late game carry or I late game carry? You doctor yet? You doctor? He's gonna kill the Shaker. Shaker's not a doctor yet, so. But this Void, yeah, his effectiveness is running out. I haven't caught what Weaver's getting his item, but I think Weaver is that damn strong. DDC comes around here. Click on the Weaver so I can see what item he has. Please, please. Clock's gonna go down. Okay. Beyond Godlike, and he has a Butterfly. Okay, so. I was like, how is Void doing no damage? The Butterfly was the answer to that. So, of course, even if you're getting the hits in, the Weaver has such high HP and such high armor anyways. So, and here comes Patch Cat getting a Manta Style. And I think that, well, I think that's a pretty smart choice. Like, he can't buy back anymore, so there's no reason to pick up an overabundance of gold. It's just Manta Style. Yes, late game Manta Style is pretty good in the fact that your illusions will do a lot of damage, which, by the way, during that mid-team fight, creeps take down the mid tower and a melee rack. So we see a huge fight going on here. Where is that Patch Cat? Patch Cat actually doing fairly damage with that Manta Style now, hurting the Weaver just a little bit. He's defending right now. He still has no Chronosphere is still on cooldown. And Scourge Team, oh wow, that Weaver is like, you know what? I don't care. I'm just gonna go for the racks. And there's a Hex on the Void, and he could just go for the racks, and then the Scourge Team is just gonna back out. And I do feel a little bit sad for OK.Nirvana right now. They play such a good game. There's a swap on the Patch Cat. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna time walk a while as well. A lot of damage goes on him, but I think at this point, I mean, so still being focused. BKB, and that Chronosphere is gonna get a Zokit. Wow, you can see Zo's HP actually going down so very quickly. Roared going on the Patch Cat. Patch Cat now in trouble. Weaver still on cleanup duty. Clock gonna go down. They're scaring the entire Scourge Team away. GG is gonna be called fairly soon right now. And we can see that only 2 towers alive. And you know what? This is a very, very well played game for both teams. But you can see that some of the bigger mistakes from OK.Nirvana cost them game. I personally see it as a mistake. Maybe you guys don't see a mistake, and maybe you're right to say that, hey, Luminous, you don't know what you're talking about. But just from what I saw on the screen, it seemed like a mistake. And here we have some random late game killing that I don't really care about. But the 2 biggest mistake was 3 mistakes. One, when Void was farming up top, the Sentinel decided to take a fight against the Scourge in front of the mid tower without their biggest DPS machine. I think that was the first mistake they made in the game. That happened like 20-30 minutes in the game. That's no big deal. Mistake team fight. Okay, fine. The second thing was Void did not have a TP scroll, and he was farming in the top lane, and the Scourge was going on the Roshan, and Sentinel had to go in, or they're gonna lose the Aegis. They don't want to lose the Aegis, and that was a long, drawn-out team fight. I think they were able to kill Void. Yes, they were able to kill Void, force his buyback, and then still eventually grab the Aegis themselves. So that was a huge victory that brought IG back in the game, because before that they were down so much. So that's where it evened the game, and that last Smoke Gang team fight by IG was just so magnificent. They were at that point, they were down because Void had Aegis, or Void was absolutely strong right now. But a good Smoke Gang, Blink Impale, follow Echo Slam, and then Void decided to use a Chronosphere to do nothing at that point, and that gave the Scourge team a free raid into the high grounds and then grab Dirac. So I don't know if that was a mistake. I want to call it a mistake, but again, these are awesome players. They're a lot better than I am. I'm an observer. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what their feelings. So I'm just calling it as I see on the screen, which can just be wrong. So, just take what I say with a grain of salt, and I hope that's, good enough for you guys. So I think that's it. My voice is absolutely sore right now, but I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. I will be doing even more Dota 2 commentaries as the tournament progresses. So do keep an eye out for my Dota channel, and also keep an eye out for DotaCommentaries.com. So until next time, hope you guys enjoyed this commentary, and this is Luminous signing off. See you guys.